Hi, and welcome to this tutorial by River City Graphics. Before I get started, I just want to make a note and thank those of you who have subscribed. As you can see here, I am at 104 subscribers. I just got to 100 on Wednesday, so I just wanted to thank those of you who have subscribed already. So today's tutorial is going to be about making an image gallery with next and previous buttons. So there's going to be an image in the middle, and then previous, and then a next button, so you can cycle through them. So basically what I have set up here is a document that's 550 by 500 pixels, and it has a black background. And I have 4 layers. I have actions, images, buttons, and base. And then I have 4 images that I'm going to be using. They're the same ones as I used in the other image gallery tutorial. So first off, we're going to need to size our images. So just go to this images layer and drag one of your images onto the middle here, and then size them to, I'm going to be using 320 by 240, and then the positioning is going to be 113 by 107. So that's right there in the middle. Alright, now for the second image, you're going to go to the next frame on that layer, and then right click and do insert keyframe. So I'm just going to drag my second image on there, and I'm going to size it the same way. So 320 by 240 and 113 by 107. Alright, so now you can see it's on top of the other one. I'm just going to go and do that with the other 2 images, and I'll be back in a second. Alright, so now I'm finished actually putting each of these images on its own frame. They're all positioned on the same in the same spot. So now what we're going to need to do is go to the base layer, and this is kind of an optional thing, but it makes it look pretty nice when each of the images has a border. So just take your rectangle tool and then drag out a rectangle. It doesn't really matter how big it is because we're going to size it down. Then grab your selection tool, click on it, and then make the size 324 by 244, and then make the positioning 111 by 105, and make the color white, or at least that's what I'm going to be using. So now you can see there's kind of a border around the images, and when I go, first of all, I'm going to right click on this and then do copy frame and then paste frame out to here. So now it's on all of them, so when you go through them it looks like each image has its own border. So it's just a nice effect that I wanted to apply. So now go to your buttons layer, and we're actually going to add the buttons. So grab your text tool, make sure that the text is set on webdings. It should be towards the bottom, and then make the size about something like 175. And I'm going to be using a text color of it's 6/9, so it's just a kind of a light gray. So just click with your text and then press 3 for the previous button, and then align that how you would like it on your images, or next to your images, and then create the next one, and that one is going to be a 4, which gives you the button looks like a play button, but it's also a forward button. So you can kind of size this up with your arrow keys, or you can drag it around. So that looks like it's in about the same position as the other one. So now what we need to do is actually make these into buttons. So I'm going to click on one, hit F8, make sure it's on button, and then I'm just going to call it BTN1. Click OK, and then give it an instance name of BTN1. So I'm going to do the same thing with this one, hit F8, BTN2, make sure it's on button, click OK, and then give it an instance name of BTN2. So now we need to copy this frame and paste it out on 4 so that it is on all of our frames. So now what we're going to do is go to the actions layer and actually make this thing run. So just click on the first frame there, and then go to actions down here. And the first action is just going to be a stop action. So stop, open, close parenthesis, and then hit enter a couple times. And we're going to actually make the buttons run. So we're going to do btn1 dot add event listener, And then we're going to do open parenthesis, mouse, event. Those are capitals on the M and the E. And then dot, and then all caps, click, and then a comma, and then button 1 with this backwards button, so we're going to just give it a function of backward. So I'm going to do an end parenthesis and a semicolon. And then I'm just going to copy that with Control C. I'm going to hit enter, and then I'm going to paste it with Control V. And I'm going to change this to forward, and I'm going to change this to button 2. So now we need to write those functions backward and forward. So I'm just going to do forward first, so just type function, space forward, and then open parenthesis, event, colon, and then it's going to be a mouse event, E-V-E-N-T, with capital M and a capital E, and then a close parenthesis and an open curly bracket. Hit enter, and then we're going to type if, and this dot current frame. If that is equal to, well, you're going to do space equal space, and if that's equal to this dot total frames, and the frames on both of these are, well, this one's frame and this one's frames, but they both have a capital F, so make note of that. And then that's going to be close parenthesis and then open curly bracket. So basically what this is saying is if the current frame is the last frame, which the total frames is the last frame, so if it's the total frame, then we're going to want it to actually go back to the beginning. So that's what we're going to write next. So we're going to say, we're going to hit enter, and then we're going to say go to, and a capital and a capital stop, and then we're going to want it to go back to the first frame. So basically if it hits the last image, if we click the forward button, then it's going to go back to the first frame and restart the cycle. So, but if it's not the first, or if it's not the last frame, then we want it to just go forward. So we're going to have to do an else statement. So I'm going to hit enter, and then I'm going to do close curly bracket. Then I'm going to do enter, and then I'm going to type else, and then I'm going to do open curly bracket, enter, next frame. So now it'll just go to the next frame if it's not on the last one. So open close parenthesis and then a semicolon, and then hit enter, close curly bracket, enter, close curly bracket. Now what we need to do is just copy this function, and then we're going to paste it, and we're just going to change a couple of things to make it apply for the other one. So we're going to do backward right here instead, and this one is going to, basically these are going to flip-flop if this one is 1. So I'm just going to copy this. If this is 1, then this is going to be the opposite of that. So basically, if the current frame is 1 and you press the backward button, then it's going to go to the total frames or the last frame. So it's going to start going through the cycle backwards. And then else, we don't want it to go to the next frame, we want it to go to the previous frame, not prev. So just prev and then frame. So now this should be working. So I'm going to do control test movie, and it appears to be working. So if you remember, this first image is the tree one. You can just continue on. You get to the tree one, and if you go back, we can get to the tree one again. So this is a pretty simple image gallery. If you want to spice it up a little bit, you could add some fades on this image. You could add some rollovers on the buttons. But this is just kind of to get you started. So what I want you to do is make sure you subscribe, rate, and comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.